Hey y'all, my name's Amanda. Welcome to my channel, and today I'm going to teach you a little bit about myself by showing you how great I am at starting a knitting or crochet project and how terrible I am at actually finishing one. So I pulled out all of the works in progress, all the whips, WIPs, whatever you want to call it, that I have around the house right now, and I just dumped them in a pile here on the floor. I'm going to go through them and just show you what I have here. So I thought this would be a little bit different from tutorial videos, so you can kind of get to know something about me, which is that I don't finish what I start. So I will show you evidence. The first thing, and I'm just going to grab them as they sit here. This first one is a sweater that I was going to make for myself. It's a purchased pattern. And here's the thing. It's sitting here in this bag with the yarn that I bought to make the sweater with. And I'm missing several pages of the pattern. Somehow that has not made it all the way through the move from the last house we lived in to this new house. The bag with the yarn in it, and 2 pages of the pattern made it. So this is the one. I'll show you a picture of the sweater. The back, I don't even have anything that has a picture of the front on it right now. Hopefully you can see that. It's really pretty. It's got a lot of intricate cable work on it. Get that to zoom a little bit, but you can kind of see it. And this is one that I got because I wanted something that would be a challenge compared to the knitting that I've normally done. My knitting is not as good as my crochet in terms of skill, so I wanted something that would be pretty challenging. And this definitely fit the bill. I started working on it, and it took me forever to figure out how to do the first rounds. It also was difficult because I had to figure out sizing. I'm a pretty large lady, and it was hard for me to even really find a lot of patterns that had my size available. So I'm going to show you how far I got, and this was hours and hours and hours of knitting. And it is so tangled, y'all. Look at this. Look at this. Okay, so this is as far as I got. I don't know how to do anything that it took me. I didn't know how to do pretty much anything that I've done so far. I was learning every step of the way. So you do see that I did get some, the lighting were better, but you can see I got some of that back cable done. And I have some stitch markers in here, and it's just way more complicated than anything else I've ever tried to knit. I started this January, December. It's been about a year, close to a year, that this is as far as I've gotten. And I've lost several pages of the pattern, but this is the yarn that I got to use. And I really like the color of this. This is Pound of Love. And it says the color is Claret. So I'll put a link to this in the description below, and it's the bonus dog hair. It's just for your viewing pleasure. The dog gets stuck to the yarn. So that's work in progress number 1 that will get finished. Maybe someday. We'll pretend. My next work in progress is the most recent thing that I have started, and it is a chevron crochet afghan that I'm going to be making in seven different colored stripes. So get the yarn here. I have 7 different colors that I've chosen, and just coincidentally the 2 that I started with make it look like it's going to be a Gryffindor blanket, but that's not the final result, the result that I'm going for. But you can see it's just a chevron crochet blanket, and I had to start it several times because I couldn't get the gauge that I wanted to end up with the size that I want it to be. I wanted it to be large enough for my 6-foot-tall barrel-chested husband to use when he goes to sleep in his recliner. So it needs to be pretty wide and pretty long. So those are 2 of the colors. I also have this green, this purple, this blue, this pink, like a rose color, and also I believe, yeah, and there's a taupe. Is that 7? I think that's 7 colors. But these are all Joann. I think this is a Joann store brand. It's Big Twist Soft. Big Twist Soft. And I like this yarn. It's pretty inexpensive, really. And it's actually on sale when I went last time. They don't have a ton of colors. The Big Twist, not the Big Twist Soft, but the regular Big Twist has a lot more color options. But the Big Twist Soft is a lot softer. So this I started really gung-ho about it, worked on it. I started this maybe 2 weeks ago. You can see how much I've gotten done. And this is with not touching it for at least a week now. I did all that in the first weekend and that I started it and haven't gone to it since. So anyway, let's work in progress number 2. This one has been in a closet. Now this one I started, oh gosh, I can't even tell you, 2 years ago. And this was something that I just started because it was easy to do while I was watching TV. My crocheting skills are much better than my knitting, especially for projects that I can do while I'm watching a movie or whatever. So I wanted to be able to do some knitting while I was watching TV. And knitting in the round was the easiest way to do that. So this is just, I know this yarn I think is it's a Red Heart. It's just a cheap Red Heart brand, but it's like an ombre sort of blue yarn. It's just kind of it's a little rough, but it's just a worsted, and I'm just working just round on the rounds. And I had again, my knitting is not great. I can't remember, is this a provisional cast on? Maybe it's a provisional cast on, but I'll do Kitchener to join them, and I have done that a couple times before. I'm terrible at it. But that's what the plan is going to be, is for it to be just like an infinity scarf cowl thing that I just connect the open ends of, and then it'll be just round like that. So that one, like I said, 2 years. Just was planning on going through the whole skein of yarn, and at some point I cut the yarn because I needed the tote, little yarn tote that I was using to keep my yarn for this project in. So now the yarn's not even attached. So that's that one. This is when I talked about the yarn tote. So this is actually, I'll show you that to you in a minute. But this is actually what I use to keep, I love these. I get these at Joann also to keep my yarn from tangling when I'm working. It has a little lid that pops open. You can put your yarn in, and then it has a hole that you feed the yarn through the top. They come in 2 different sizes, got a little carrying handle, but this is really easy to just let it flop around on the couch or in the floor, and your yarn doesn't get tangled. So I use these a lot. This is actually something I've made a significant amount of progress on. So I bought these, I can't remember what these are called. They are, they're yarn cakes, but I can't remember what they're called. I can look it up though. I think I got them at Joann. Pretty sure I got them at Joann. And what I've been doing with those is making squares. So I've been making 1 C2C square per cake of yarn, 1 C2C square, and I used, I was planning on doing a video about this. I used a scale to figure out exactly how big this square needed to be for me to use exactly 1 cake of yarn. So this square used exactly 1 cake. Sorry, my phone's going off. I didn't turn that down. But this used exactly 1 cake of yarn. So I didn't have any left over and I didn't run out. I used some math to figure that out. So I've made, I think at this point, like, my plan is to put these together into a blanket, the squares, and I think I've made maybe like 12 or 15 squares so far, and I bought, I think I bought like 20 of the cakes, and so So yeah, I'm working on this one here. So this is one that I have in progress. And again, I pulled this out of the closet. It's been sitting there who knows how long. I've been working on this blanket since before we moved back to the city we're in now, and that was over a year ago. So you can see this is what the C2C squares look like as I'm working on them. So there's that one. And then in the same bag, this is yet another one of the working knit, just regular knit in the round while I watch a movie stuff. And this one I needed to steal the interchangeable tips, the size that was on these. And of course now I don't even remember what size that was. But this is just another working in the round with a striping yarn. It's the same thing I was doing on the other one. And this is how much yarn is left. So I'm not even going to end up with anything that will fit around the neck. Probably not. This is probably useless. So no shame. No shame in that. And the last one I wanted to show you, this is just what I grabbed digging into closets tonight. So this one I had high hopes for. This was very ambitious. There is a website that has for, I think, like 5 years now, maybe. Every year they've done something called a geek along. So they have a knit along and a crochet along where you make geek themed squares. So I got the bright idea that I was going to pull all these squares from the different years of the geek along and make those and put them together and make a blanket. And I started the first one, which I have it here. And it's double knitting, which is something that I hadn't really done before, so I thought that would be kind of fun. And I actually do enjoy the double knitting. But this is the first one I started. I bought the yarn. I have like the gray as it's going to be the contrasting color. And then I bought like some red and some green and some blue and some purple and a variety of other colors so that I could have squares of different colors. But this is kind of what I started with on this one. And this is actually from Monty Python, if you recognize this. This is a little vampire bunny guy from Monty Python. So I picked out all the squares I wanted to do, high hopes, started out, worked on it for several days in a row, and now this is where we are months later. So I don't know if this was an interesting video for you guys. I hope it was at least somewhat interesting, if nothing else. I hope it shows you that there's no shame in starting a crochet project and letting it languish for months. I have done that. And actually, you know what would be ridiculous is if I showed you what I've actually finished, because that's a very short list. I have finished fewer items in the time that I've started and worked on these than I just showed you. I have more works in progress than I do actual finished items. So I just thought this might be kind of a way to show you a little bit about myself, the kind of projects I like to do, the kind of projects I like to start, and the short-sightedness I have maybe with the ambition of some of these and how long they would actually take to complete. So yeah, I hope this video was interesting. If it was, I would appreciate if you would give it a thumbs up and consider subbing before you exit my channel. Thanks for sticking with me. Hope to see you next time. Bye.